آقای شپرد سلام. از شما خیلی ممنونم برای وقتی که در اختیار ما قرار دادید. من مصطفی آرانی هستم از طرف پادکست ایرانی اینوپاد با شما صحبت میکنم. ما کتاب چرخه زندگی استارتاپ شما رو مطالعه کردیم و خیلی لذت بردیم.
Thank you.
سلامت باشید. البته کتاب هنوز در ایران ترجمه نشده. ما 3 فصل اول نسخه انگلیسی کتابو برای پادکستمون مورد استفاده قرار دادیم و من سعی میکنم خیلی وقتتون رو نگیرم. آقای شپرد، توی فصلهای آغاز کتابتون اشاره کردید که تو دوران نوجوانیتون رویای حل مشکلات اطرافیانتون رو داشتید. البته معمولا آدما رویاهای زیادی تو سرشون هست. میخوام ازتون بپرسم ایده هایی که شما بعداً اجرا کردید حاصل اون رویا پردازی ها بوده یا یه نوع تفکر خیلی جهتدار و هدفدار درباره ایده های استارتاپی؟ کدوم یکی از اینا بوده؟
I can tell you that to me, the difference between a dream and an objective, or a dream and actually doing something, is a plan. So a goal without a plan is a dream. So what I do is I put together plans on things. So I start out by saying I have a mission. So the mission is to accomplish something. And then underneath the mission, I have objectives. And the format for the objective is I say, I want to get this done by this date. So I want to go from X to Y by, that's the format of the objective. And then underneath that objective, I have tasks. Those are the individual things I need to do to accomplish the objective. And if I accomplish those tasks, I accomplish that objective. And if I accomplish the objectives, I accomplish the mission. And that's how I go from a dream to reality.
منظورتون متوجه شدم. خیلی ممنون. شما تو کتابتون اشاره کردید که ایده پردازی رو توی 17-18 سالگی شروع کردید. اون موقع تکنولوژی مثل الان خیلی پیشرفت نکرده بود. میخوام بدونم امروز که هوش مصنوعی و فناوری‌های پیشرفته خیلی وارد زندگی مردم شده، خیلی از مشکلات مردم رو همین الان حل کرده این تکنولوژی و فناوری، چقدر امکان خلق محصولای جدیدی هست که مردم بهشون احتیاج دارن؟ میدونید منظورم چیه؟ منظورم یه سری راه حله که تا حالا کسی بهش فکر نکرده. چون به نظر میرسه دیگه رسیدن به یه سری ایده بکر و راه حل جدید خیلی خیلی سخت شده. یعنی چیزی دیگه برای اختراع کردن باقی نمونده.
Yeah, so here's how it actually works. When there is a disruption, so I want you to imagine a still pond of water, like a lake of water, still. And you throw a rock in, and then it hits, and then it creates wakes, right? Yes. So a disruption is that, and then it creates the wake. So the disruption was like mobile phones, right? Boom. Okay. And then on the outside, you get app stores, and you get things like Facebook. But then Facebook itself does a drop, and now you have apps that help you market in Facebook. Okay. So my point is that technology that solves problems creates other problems to solve. So okay. There are opportunities, whether there are opportunities even inside of problems that have already been solved. You just have to dig deeper.
یعنی شما واقعا نگران هوش مصنوعی نیستید؟
Yeah, I think AI is going to create new problems that need to be solved. Okay. Just like, everybody said that, automation of robots in manufacturing was going to get rid of all the jobs. Well, it just created different jobs, okay. Right? People have to make them. People have to create the software. People have to engineer them. So I don't think that AI is going to dissolve. It's like a process, like nature, right? So you have something like AI that comes out, and then that gets rid of these jobs, but it creates these jobs. And when it does that, that's new opportunities. So yes. I think that I think AI should be producing a whole new world of opportunities, right? Like if you look at energy and you think, okay, well, previous to solar, sustainable energy, we just had coal and oil and that sort of stuff, right? For energy. Well, as soon as that changed and now you have solar energy, a lot of people lost work over here, but a lot of people now are in solar, right? So, and solar has people that are developing software that tracks the sun and people that are installing solar and all this software that has to run it, optimization software, management software. So I don't think that new disruptions eliminate old jobs and they create new jobs.
منظورتون رو متوجه شدم کاملا. حالا از اونجایی که خود شما هم محل زندگیتون رو توی کتابتون توصیف کردید، همین که یه ارتباطی بین اون محل زندگی و اون کسب و کار ایجاد کردید، میخوام بدونم واقعا به نظر شما بین محل زندگی آدما و ایده هایی که برای استارتاپ و بیزنس وجود داره ارتباط حقیقی وجود داره؟ مثلا امکان داره که یه استارتاپ توی یه جا موفق بشه اما توی یه موقعیت جغرافیایی دیگه شکست بخوره یا دست کم موفق نشه؟
100%. So there is absolutely a scenario where a startup in one region of the world will work really well, and another region of the world, it won't work very well. That is absolutely true. And it's also true that the ideas, the things that you build, are focused around the lens, the glasses that you see the world through. So if you are somebody that's a marketing person, all the opportunities you see are marketing opportunities. If you're somebody that solves engineering issues, then all the opportunities you see are engineering issues. So that also stands true for the region you're in, right? So you're in the Middle East, you have a lot of infrastructure and logistics and software to run the logistics. In the Middle East, there are more opportunities, I think, than anywhere in the world. Maybe Africa. Africa and the Middle East, the African continent in general has the most opportunities in the world because there are more problems to solve and more things to optimize, right? So like if you're walking down the street and you see something and you're like, that could work better, that's an opportunity. Problems are opportunities, right? So the harder the problem, the better the opportunity. So the easier the problem, not as good of an opportunity, right? So I would say that it drastically changes depending on where you are and how you see the world, right? So, the kind of problems that you solve in one part of the world are different than the kind of problems you solve in another part of the world. But in your part of the world, there's so many opportunities. It's crazy. Like, I mean, you guys have opportunities everywhere, because you're an emerging market, right? You guys are coming up,
Yes.
African continent is climbing up. They're coming up, right? So as you start to come up, you start to see layers of opportunities depending on where you are in the process of coming up. Does that make sense? So when you're at level 1 of coming up, you see level 1 opportunities. Level 2 disrupts some of level 1, but creates new opportunities at level 2, right? So it just the dynamics change depending on where you are 100%. But they also change depending on where you are in the cycle of evolution from the beginning of your business moving up, just like nature, right? And so I think that, if you go to a forest, you see levels of growth and levels of wildlife. It's the same thing with opportunities.
درسته. کاملا متوجه منظورتون شدم. حالا یه سوال دیگه. شما تو کتابتون به این اشاره میکنید که اگه میخوایم یه ایده ای رو برای ساخت یه استارتاپ داشته باشیم، باید محیط اطرافمون رو با یه دقت خیلی زیادی نگاه کنیم و اون وقت اگه یه مشکلی رو دیدیم برای حل کردنش اقدام کنیم. اما اینکه بتونیم اینجوری اطرافمون رو نگاه کنیم خودش یه هنره، خودش یه تواناییه. آدما چیزای مختلفی رو تو محیط میبینن ولی به درستی که در موردش فکر نمیکنن. سوال اینه که ما چطور میتونیم یه همچین نگاهی رو داشته باشیم و ازش ایده های استارتاپی استخراج کنیم؟
I think that you know, you can think of things as there's two angles, right? People, businesses, everything. It's either save money or make money, right? Okay. So if in certain markets and in certain regions, it's all about saving money, right? So everybody's trying to save money. And so you should lean your focus on opportunities towards saving money. In other parts of the region or certain cycles of the economy, right? If the economy is doing really well, then it's make money. If the economy is not doing very well, then it's save money, right? In some regions, people are after making money. In other regions, people are after saving money. So it's one of those two things. So when you look at the opportunities that are out there, all the problems that you were just talking about, you have to ask yourself, is this a make money or save money opportunity? And is the area I live in that same cycle? Is the area I live in a make money cycle or a save money cycle?
حالا یه سوال خیلی علمی و کلاسیک. اگه فرض رو بر این بگیریم که یه ایده استارتاپی داشته باشیم، آیا واقعاً چارچوب یا سیستمی هست که بتونیم اون ایده رو با اون چارچوب یا سیستم ارزیابی کنیم؟
I think that the way to test the idea is you take the problem and you start talking to people that are facing the problem, people that are that are in the problem, and you ask them whether this problem is a frustration, a need, or a pain, right? So if it's a frustration, then it's just like, oh, I'm frustrated. And if it's, frustrations are like the lower level, right? A need is like, I have to have this, I need this. And that's the next level. Pain is the third level. Pain is like, I can't even get through my life without this, right? Or I'm experiencing pain because, I can't call my spouse, or I can't text my kids, or, I have a hard time getting to work. I can't get to work in the morning, right? So the video call that we're on right now, that was a need, right? And after they launched the video, it became a pain. If you don't have video these days, then you're experiencing pain, right? But before video launched, it was a need, right? I need to be able to talk to people and see their faces and screen share, right? Yes. So that's how I look at problems. I look at them whether it's a frustration, a need, or a pain.
عجب نکته جالبی بود. خیلی ممنونم. یه چیز دیگه درباره کودکیتون. گفته بودید که انگیزتون اون زمان برای کار کردن کمک به خانواده‌تون بوده. میخوام ازتون بپرسم که نقش انگیزه توی خلق ایده چیه؟ مثلا اگه یه نفری انگیزش این باشه که از فقر خارج بشه، یه نفر دیگه انگیزش این باشه که پول بیشتری در بیاره، بینشون تفاوتی هست؟
Yes. So there are two types of motivations. There's what's called intrinsic motivation, which is internal motivation. Okay. And then there's extrinsic motivation, which is basically money, right? So the money motivation is substantially less powerful than the internal motivation, right? So if you see people playing video games and playing, going out and playing sports, maybe they're playing football or they're playing whatever sport they're playing, that's intrinsic motivation because they have no financial payoff. They only get to feel good about what they're doing, right? That's intrinsic. Extrinsic is money, and people spend money, and the more you give them, the more they spend, right? So money is not the primary motivation. The primary motivation that you want is intrinsic. So in the book, when I talked about helping my family, you notice that it wasn't helping me. It wasn't extrinsic. It wasn't making money to help me. It was to make money to help my family. So it was intrinsic. Because I would have done it with or without the money. Does that make sense? Because I want to help my family.